Breaking news. Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves. Zimwaves TV has officially surpassed 1,000 subscribers, but we're still being held hostage by YouTube's 4,000 watch hour requirement before we can even dream of making $1. So while we wait for our YouTube freedom, let's talk about a different kind of freedom, or rather, the government's latest attempt to strangle it. Welcome to Zimwaves TV. Here is your breaking news story. Zimbabwe's Minister of Information, Communication and Broadcasting Services, Dr. Jenfan Musware, has unleashed an almighty tantrum, lashing out at war veterans who dared to exercise their constitutionally guaranteed freedom of expression. His fury, wrapped in the usual dictatorship-style rhetoric, accuses them of manufacturing lies, making defamatory statements, and inciting hostility against President Emerson Mnangagwa, as if speaking inconvenient truths is now a crime in Zimbabwe. But don't take our word for it. Watch Minister Musware in action, issuing a warning so dramatic you'd think he was auditioning for a role in a dictatorship-themed movie.
The beauty about democracy allows the freedom of expression, conscience, and association, and ultimately the supremacy of the people in democratic processes. No amount of 2018 ZANU-PF primary elections bitterness will distort the credible, factual, and impeccable history of His Excellency the President Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa as a veteran of the liberation struggle. As a pioneer freedom fighter, Class D liberation prisoner, his role during the War of Liberation as an intelligence and security supremo, and post-independence, his role as the first Minister of National Security, and many other government roles that he has contributed positively towards the development of Zimbabwe, until his rise to presidency in 2017. His steadfast role and his vigilance in nation building and in establishing a roadmap towards Vision 2030, which is an upper middle income society by the year 2030, has got footprints everywhere. After his 2017 assumption of leadership, he has contributed towards 8,000 projects and programs under his leadership. Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa has consistently demonstrated his unwavering commitment to the ideals of the liberation struggle, thereby ensuring that the sacrifices made by our heroes and heroines are honored and recognized through legislation, through policy and resource mobilization. In line with his vision for Zimbabwe, His Excellency the President Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa is dedicated to ensure that Zimbabwe achieves an upper middle income society by the year 2030. This goal requires collective effort, and it is imperative that we work together in unity to realize this vision. We must all put our hands on deck and contribute positively towards the development of our beloved nation. Together we can build a prosperous future for Zimbabwe.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the same war veterans who once risked their lives for this country are now being threatened with prison for simply talking. The irony is so thick you could slice it with a bayonet. Apparently, the regime believes that freedom of expression only exists if it's used to sing praises for the president. Anything else is treasonous, defamatory, or inciting hostility. But wait, there's more. Reports circulating in political corridors suggest that this isn't just about verbal warnings and empty threats. According to well-placed sources, there are whispers of bribes and even assassination plots being considered as part of a desperate attempt to silence these outspoken war vets. Because when a government runs out of lies to sell, it turns to money or bullets. Let's pause for a moment and admire the absurdity of it all. 1. The government, which loves to parade war veterans during elections as revolutionary heroes, now sees them as criminals for speaking their minds. 2. A minister tasked with information and broadcasting wants to punish people for sharing information. The president, who supposedly won a free and fair election, is so thin-skinned that he considers criticism an act of war. At this rate, they might as well declare the Constitution an enemy of the state, because clearly its promises of free speech are too inconvenient for those in power. So there you have it. Zimbabwe's war veterans, the very people who fought for independence, now find themselves in the crosshairs of a government that seems to think independence means unquestionable obedience. And all because they dared to speak, not in some dark alleyway, not in secret meetings, but in public, exercising the very freedoms they helped bring into existence. The real question is, if war veterans aren't allowed to speak, who is? If the Constitution is just a decoration, what comes next? Stay tuned to Zimwaves TV, where we refuse to be silenced. Hit that subscribe button and help us hit the 4,000 hour mark, because in a country where freedom is under attack, independent media needs all the support it can get.
Tikunda, she and I, Shwakwana.